Hey guys! So this is going to be a video that I really am excited to do on how to raise butterflies. So I have been raising butterflies since I was 8 years old, and I know almost everything there is to know about different kinds of butterflies, like the different kinds, how to raise them, where to find their caterpillars, what to feed their caterpillars, things like that. So I'm very knowledgeable about it because I've been doing it for a long time and it has been a long time hobby. So yeah, let's get right into it. So I'm going to be showing you where to find the caterpillars, how to raise them, stuff like that. So obviously you're gonna need to know where to find the caterpillars at, and you'll need to know what plants they eat. You may have to do some research on it, but I'm going to give you some examples of some that live where I live and what they eat. So monarch caterpillars, you can find them in pretty much anywhere in the United States, and they eat milkweed, which a lot of you probably know that because they're like the most well-known butterfly. And painted lady caterpillars, they eat mainly thistle, but they also can be found eating mallow. Tiger swallowtail caterpillars, they seem to eat mostly wild cherry tree leaves. That's where I find them most, but I've also heard of them eating other kinds of plants such as tulip trees or cottonwood trees. And black swallowtail caterpillars, I find them most on poison hemlocks. I know that sounds crazy, but it's not poisonous to them. And they also will eat garden plants such as parsley, carrot leaves, things like that. So those are some examples, and I'm going to show you guys me going out and finding some butterfly eggs and caterpillars of these different kinds. Maybe not every kind I mentioned, but I will show some examples. So for this section of the video, I'm going to show you guys how to find monarch butterfly eggs. So I actually just have this little container right here, and it just has a wet paper towel inside. That's just to keep the leaf alive. So yeah. So as you can see, there's some milkweeds here, and I'll show you how to look for the eggs. So usually you want to look on fresh plants, like when they first come up, the first couple weeks or the first month. And usually on the underside of the leaf, although that's not always the case. So let me look here. Okay, there's 2 eggs right there. And let me look some more on this plant. There's also 1 egg, I don't know if you can see it, but right in there on the top side. So on this plant, oh, there's one right there. There's one right there. Any more? And one right there. Okay, let me look on the other plants. Oh, there's one right there. And sorry. Okay, that's all I see there, I think. And I don't see any on this one. So I'm going to get some of these eggs. So you just want to pick the leaf. See, there's an egg right there. The eggs are little whitish yellow colored. And once you've learned to identify them, you'll be able to recognize them. So I'm just going to put it in the little container. And I'll get a few more. I'm not gonna get all of them, but I will get some of them. Okay. There's one right here. It's hard to do it with one hand, but I think I got it. Okay. Yeah, one right there. And okay, here's another one. So that's all I'm going to show for now, but I may collect more on my own. But that's just an example, so I'm going to keep them in here until they hatch. Just going to put the lid on so the water doesn't dry out. And so yeah, you just want to keep them there for a couple days, probably. Depends on when they were laid, and then they will hatch. And when they're about to hatch, the top of the egg will turn kind of reddish purple colored. That's the caterpillar's head, and that means they should hatch within a day. So I will further explain what you need to do then in another part to this video. Okay, so it has been about 3 days, and my monarch butterfly eggs are about to hatch. I took them out of the little container I originally put them in. So I can show you guys how I know this. It's hard to like get it to focus, but you can see that the top of the eggs have turned kind of a blackish color. So that is the caterpillar's head, and they should hatch soon. Within a day. That's how you know they're gonna hatch within a day. So the thing about newborn monarch caterpillars is they have to eat fresh leaves. Like, they can't survive on like non-fresh leaves. And I have like kept these leaves alive for the most part. I think they'd be okay, but I don't want to take the chance. So in here I just have 2 fresh leaves that I collected from the top of the milkweed plant where the leaves are the freshest. I wrapped a paper towel around them, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out like the portion of the leaf where the eggs are on, and then set them all on one of those leaves. So it's kind of too complicated to do while it's on the video, because I can't just do it with one hand, so I'm not going to show you that, but I will film it again when I've cut the portion of the leaf out and I put it in here so you guys can see what I did. Okay, so I have them onto the leaf, and you can see I cut out the small portion of the leaf, so when they hatch, they'll be able to crawl onto these leaves and eat the milkweed. But the first thing that they're going to do when they hatch is they will eat their eggshell, because that's a monarch caterpillar's first meal. And then after that, they will start eating milkweed. So yeah, so when they hatch, I will show you guys what a newborn caterpillar looks like, and I will tell you guys further how to care for the caterpillars. So my caterpillars have hatched, It's hard to see, but I'm gonna try to make it easier to see. There we go. So yep, so they've been eating their eggshell, and soon they should go and eat milkweeds, so I'll update you guys later on how to further care for them. Hey guys, welcome back. I know this video is late, but you know, it's been about a week since my caterpillars have hatched. And I just wasn't sure where to film. I had one of them die like about 2 days ago, and I didn't even know how I was going to say it on YouTube because I feel terribly guilty when that happens, like I did something wrong. So yeah, one of my monarch caterpillars unfortunately died, so now I have 3. Really hoping the others are going to be okay. And how I handled it was I mixed 10% bleach with 90% water, cleaned the cage really well, and then moved them to another cage. I just moved them to another cage because I just didn't want to take the risk of them getting a disease from the one that died, because I think it was sick. But I still cleaned it, so if I do want to use that cage in the future, I can. And that's what you want to do if you have sick or dying caterpillars. You need to clean the cage with 90% water, 10% bleach solution, because it's important. But yeah, I just wanted to add that in. And oh, one of the caterpillars is crawling off the leaf. You can see they've grown. I have that one. And trying to get a good lighting, but there's one. I mean, there's 2 on that leaf. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna move them to a fresh leaf that I got. There we go. Yeah, they've actually grown a considerable amount the past week. And I have this little leaf that I collected. I put a paper towel around it, obviously, so it doesn't dry out. And I rinsed it off because it wasn't too far from a field. And if you get leaves like not too far from a field, it's a good idea to rinse them off, just to make sure they don't have any like pesticides on them. And I'm going to try to make this one crawl onto the leaf. Hold on. Let's see if I can get it to. Because okay, that's how I get them onto the leaf if they already are like off the leaf, the other leaf. And then these 2. I'm actually going to do that thing that I showed you guys with the eggs, where I cut out a portion of the leaf and then put it on to the bigger leaf. So I don't know how I could set my camera again, like, let me see. Ugh. I can't find a spot, so I'm going to have to not show that, but obviously you guys can see what I did after. It's pretty self-explanatory. So as you can tell, I cut out the portions of the leaf they were on, and if you're wondering where the 3rd one is, it went underneath of the leaf. It's hard to see, but I know it went under the leaf. Actually, let me show you. Right there. Okay. So yeah, so what? Really hoping the 3 are okay. And a little side note, when the caterpillars are small like this, you don't have to do that much to clean the caterpillar poop, you know? Because most of it ends up on the leaf anyway. Sometimes if there's a little in the container, you might just want to take a little paper towel and just wipe it down. It's only when they get like bigger that you really need to start dumping out the caterpillar poop, you know? Sorry if it's like a weird topic, but it is important to have the cage clean, so I just want to show how to do it, but yeah. So yeah, that's all for now, and I will show you probably a couple more updates on these guys as caterpillars, and then obviously I'll show you guys the chrysalis stage and the butterfly stage and how to release them and all that. But yep, so that's that for now. This is a little note I want to include about my monarch caterpillars, although this goes for any species of caterpillars, not just monarchs. From the time they hatch, they are going to shed their skin every couple days. I have this one on the leaf. I need better lighting to show you. But it just shedded its skin. Here we go. Here's good lighting. You can see the old skin that came off in the front. Its head's kind of, it looks a little different. I think you can see what I mean. And then there is one caterpillar that I believe is shedding its skin on the bottom of the leaf. Oh. Okay, I don't want to mess with the one on the top, but trying to show it. But as you can tell, the caterpillar at the bottom, its face is kind of darker colored. You can tell. That's a sign that it's shedding its skin. You can see the darker color. And this one, its face is kind of lighter colored. You can tell it already did shed its skin. Like you can see its old skin behind it. Yeah. So after a caterpillar has shed its skin, it will actually eat the skin. And that's one thing. They will shed their skin every couple days, and when they are shedding their skin, it may take a day or so, but they won't eat during that time. So sometimes they will sit on the side of the container. So if you see a caterpillar sitting on the side of the container, not eating, and its face is kind of dark, it's most likely shedding its skin. So you don't really want to mess with it. Just kind of let it do its thing. And then once they've shed their skin, they will go back to the leaf and eat. So I just wanted to give you guys that update. And yeah, they will keep shedding their skin every few days until they're in the 5th instar, which instar is just a fancy word for the different phases where they shed their skin. And then they will shed their skin for the last time, which is making a chrysalis. Which, that's basically how they make a chrysalis. It's different from a cocoon, which is what moths make. I will explain more of that later. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. Some species of caterpillars, they will change appearance every time they shed their skin. Monarchs aren't like that, but I mean like swallowtails and certain kinds of butterflies are. So just letting you guys know that part. Okay, this is an update for my monarch caterpillars. Unfortunately, another one died, so I moved him to this cage, but as you can tell, they are very big now. And when they're this big, you need to feed them every single day because they eat a lot. And you should clean the caterpillar poop every day. So I'm going to move this one out. And there's one in there, but I'm going to try to still dump the poop because it's on the side, you know. Okay, got most of it, but since they're big and should make a chrysalis soon, I'm going to move them into here because I prefer them to make a chrysalis in there. So I got some fresh leaves in there, 3 because they do eat a lot in this stage. And I'm going to move them. Took the one off that little stem, so now they can eat. So yeah, they'll make a chrysalis very soon, within a couple days. So one of my caterpillars, monarch caterpillars, has made a little silk pad right there. If you can see that. That's what it will hang from when it's making a chrysalis. And it will hang upside down in a J shape. I have one that already made a chrysalis. Right there. As you can tell, there's old chrysalises from like last year and stuff, but yeah. So I can show you guys it when it's like hanging upside down in a J shape, which is how you know that it's about to go into chrysalis. So yes, that caterpillar is making a chrysalis now, and it's hanging upside down in a J shape, which means that it's going to go into a chrysalis within a day. There's the other one. And one thing I want to clear up is that there is a difference between a chrysalis and a cocoon. So butterflies make a chrysalis, moths make a cocoon, and the difference is a cocoon is literally made. Like I've even seen them made out of leaves. It depends on the type, but they literally make it. Sometimes with surrounding like natural items. Now a chrysalis is what butterflies specifically make, but it's not really made, to be honest. It's actually when the caterpillar sheds its skin for the last time, the chrysalis is already underneath. So once the caterpillar is in a chrysalis, it will depend on the temperature, but I would say the average is probably around 10 days that it stays in the chrysalis. But when I used to raise these in a cooler environment, it was around 11 days. Now that they're in a warmer environment, it's around, I would say, about 9 days. But it does depend on the temperature. So, yeah, so once it's in a chrysalis, you literally just have to wait until it emerges. And there isn't really much you have to do in that stage. My other monarch caterpillar, the one I was showing, making a chrysalis, that has now gone into chrysalis. So just letting you know that. You can see it. So yeah, just showing you. My butterfly, my monarch butterfly is about to emerge. You can see its orange wings inside. Sorry, but whoa. You can see that the chrysalis is darkened. You can see the butterfly inside. So that's how I know that it's going to emerge. and it will probably emerge tomorrow morning because monarch butterflies almost always emerge in the morning. So I will update you then. Butterfly emerged. And obviously it's still drying its wings because it's on the chrysalis. When a monarch butterfly finishes drying its wings, it will start to try to fly around. But it's still hanging on the chrysalis. The whole process takes like a few hours. But yeah, when it first emerges, it will be super duper tiny. But as you can tell, it's not tiny anymore. And when it's ready, I will release it and show you that. Releasing the butterfly, and it is a girl. Let's see if I can show you how I know that. There's no spots on the bottom of her wings. So, like big spots on the bottom of her wings. So that's how I know that it's a girl. But yeah, let's get her to fly out. There we go. My other chrysalis is about to emerge. You can see the butterfly's wing. Oops. Yep, tomorrow morning. Go ahead and guess the gender, and we'll see tomorrow. Just emerged. I caught it on video. There's my butterfly. You've seen the second monarch, and it is also a girl because there's no two very distinct black spots on the bottom of her wings. And I'm going to add a picture of a male monarch so you can see the difference. There would be black spots like right there and there. You'll see. Trying to get her to fly out. So in this section of the video, I'm going to find some painted lady caterpillars because this is one example. So their main host plant is thistle, so I would recommend looking there. But like I said, they also eat mallow, and I've heard they eat hollyhocks. So I'm going to the thistle patch, and I would recommend having gloves to do this, and scissors too, but like I've been raising butterflies since I was a little kid, and I've learned to pick the thistle leaves without getting like poked with the thistle. So yeah, so I'm here. So obviously this is what it looks like, and oh, there's a little caterpillar tent right there. Painted lady caterpillars, see, they make these little tents. Let's see if there's any more. There's one right there. You can see the little caterpillar inside. So I'm going to get this. And like I said, recommend using gloves or scissors, but I didn't have any, so I'm gonna try to carefully pick this. Okay. So here it is, and I'm going to just put it in this container for now. There we go. All right, let me get more. Is there a caterpillar in here? Okay, yeah, there's one right here, but it's smaller. And see if I can find some more. I think this is a little painted lady caterpillar nest. Oh yeah, but there's no more caterpillar in there, but I'll find some more. Here is another little nest right here. And there's a caterpillar. So gonna pick that. So yep, so I have 3, so that's all I'm going to show for right now. But remember, for the painted ladies caterpillars, the key is to look inside the little tents on thistles. Like, you can tell they're not just going to be on the thistle, they'll be inside a little enclosure. So yep, hopefully that's helpful to you guys. And yeah, see you in the next section. Hey guys, so this is an update for my painted lady caterpillars. I actually have more than I collected because I collected some on my own, but I just got some thistle leaves, which, like I said, I recommend picking it with scissors and gloves, or one or the other, but I just picked it with my hands and I was fine. But if you're not experienced with it, I would definitely recommend you use something to keep from getting poked by them. So, let me open this. So one of the butterflies, well, caterpillars, made a chrysalis. So I'm gonna show the caterpillars. As you can see, they're in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set these leaves down and pick up these leaves the caterpillars are on. And I think this one right here, I think it's like molting, like shedding its skin, so I'm not gonna like mess with it, but the others I will. And you just have to remember to like get the caterpillars fresh leaves whenever they're drying out or whenever they've eaten the leaves, which would be at least every few days, if not more, depending. And you also have to remember to clean out the caterpillar poop at least every few days when the caterpillars are like medium to large. When they're super, super tiny, it's not that big of an issue, but like when they're bigger, you have to clean it. So I just have this little tissue thing that I'm gonna scrape this bottom. Yeah, and you remember you need to clean it at least every couple days. Clean it every day if you have like a lot of caterpillars though, or if you just want it really clean in there, because it could cause disease, or just even the caterpillars could die if their cage isn't cleaned enough. So I'm going to dump dump this out in the garbage. I gotta do it carefully not to knock that caterpillar down. Ooh, I don't want to knock it down. Okay, hold on, let me wash this, scrape this a little better on the inside. Okay, I got most of it cleaned. So now I'm going to set my leaves in there. I just collected 4 leaves, but you'll need to collect more or less depending on how many caterpillars you have and how big they are, because the big ones eat more. And yeah, I'm just gonna set these back in there. And there's one little one right there. Ooh, I dropped it. That sucks. I'm sure it's fine though. There we go. So yep, and there's the chrysalis. So this is what a painted lady chrysalis looks like. So I'll give you more updates on raising painted lady butterflies soon. So yep, see you in the next section. Bye! On my painted lady caterpillars. Unfortunately, I had 2 that died. There's one little one at the bottom and one right there. Not sure why they died, but in case it was some type of disease, I'm moving them to this. I put fresh leaves in there, but they may not need to eat them because one's in a chrysalis, and my 2 living caterpillars, they look like they might be getting ready to make a chrysalis. I don't know. They look a little small, but since they're on top of the cage, could be that. So just gonna move those. And there's like a bunch of caterpillar poop in there. The leaves are dried out. Probably a little late to clean this cage. Like I debated whether to do it last night, but it was so late. And what I said earlier, both of my painted lady caterpillars in here are making a chrysalis. I know it's hard to see, but okay, can't really see from that angle. I'm sure you see them, but it's not that clear. But yeah, they're both making a chrysalis now. I have a painted lady chrysalis about to hatch. If you can see that, you can see the wings. And yeah, I'll update you when it hatches. So I have a painted lady butterfly today. This is not the cage that it emerged in, but I moved it to here just to release it. So yeah, so I'm really glad to show you guys this butterfly. Let me get this off. Okay. Here it is. Oh. There's the butterfly. Oh, it's flying away. Over here I have one chrysalis that fell down but still emerged okay. And this butterfly is drying its wings. You can see the little fluid that's dripping from its wings. That's completely normal for butterflies. That happens when they emerge. So I'm going to put this one in a cage so it doesn't fly away when its wings are dry. Have you seen the painted lady whose chrysalis fell down? There we go. It's flying away. And the other one emerged, but I think I'll release it tomorrow because it's still drying its wings and it's getting close to evening. So yeah, show you then. Hey guys, this is the last part of the video and I'm just gonna state my conclusions and some tips to make it more helpful. So I'm gonna basically briefly repeat everything I've kind of showed in my video. So to raise butterflies, you collect the butterfly eggs or caterpillars on the host plant, the plant that the caterpillars eat. And you always make sure your caterpillars have fresh food, so whenever they eat all the leaves or when the leaves are starting to dry out, whichever comes first, you want to feed them new food. And you can keep a paper towel around the leaf stem to prevent it from drying out. That's an option. Well, to keep it from drying out as quickly, I mean. You want to keep the caterpillar cage clean, so clean out the caterpillar poop. When they're small, you don't need to do it that often. When they're big, you want to do it every day. Have ventilation in your cage so that the mold doesn't grow. There's air in there and it doesn't become too damp. When the caterpillar makes a chrysalis, just leave it alone. How long it will take will depend on the species, generally about a week and a half. There are certain species of butterflies, such as swallowtails, that if they go into chrysalis in the fall, they will stay in all winter. So I'm just telling you that, just so you know, but generally, if it's not that time of the year or not that type of butterfly, most will emerge in a week and a half. And then another generalized tip, if you don't know what kind of caterpillar it is, it most likely will eat the plant that you found it on, but you can use a field guide or Google or something to help identify it. And if you want, you can comment and I can make more videos related to this subject. If your butterflies emerge at a time when you can't release them that day, like say it's stormy or something, you can feed them like fruit or sugar water or Gatorade, something like that. And there is a way that you can, like, if they're not eating it, there is a way you can uncoil their tongue with a toothpick. I've seen on other videos. So yeah, just letting you know that. So this is just my little conclusion. I hope you enjoyed the video. It took like a whole month, a ton of editing to get through this. And it's my first like really long video I've ever posted on YouTube, but I really wanted to do it. So yeah. So I really hope this has helped you and have a good one. Bye!